everybody, Sandra here from Create in Spain. I looked at the price. I've done rhinestones before. I looked at the price online just out of interest to see how much the Brother Rhinestone kit cost, and it was over $60. And there's a silhouette one which is about $27 from what I gather. Now the difference between the two could well be the number of rhinestones you get. Also with the Brother one you get something like 100 designs, and with the silhouette you only get 10. However, do you need a rhinestone kit to do rhinestones? No, you definitely don't, and I would not recommend it. There are places to spend your money and there are places to save your money. And in this particular instance, you can save yourself a boatload. The things that you need are a cutting machine, i.e. scan and cut, silhouette, whatever it is that you're using, and the appropriate software. If you are using Shortcuts a lot, I don't remember which version it is that has it, whether it has to be the Pro version or not, but there is a rhinestone function in Shortcuts a lot. So if you've got Shortcuts a lot already, check to see if you have the rhinestone function. If not, check to see how much it would cost to upgrade to the one that does, if you're going to do a lot of rhinestones. If you have a silhouette cameo or something to that effect, the business edition certainly has a rhinestone function on it. I don't remember whether the earlier versions or the cheaper versions do, but Silhouette Studio is capable of exporting to SVG for use with other machines if you have the business edition. Now the business edition of Silhouette Studio is pretty good. I haven't used it much for a long while because I've been using Shortcuts a lot and I don't need to use it, but there are a couple of functions on there which are quite handy. One is a nesting function, which even if you have a version of the software which does not have the rhinestone feature, if it has the nesting function where you can gather shapes into a defined area, that will work just as well. It's just a slightly different way of doing it. I would recommend that you spend the money on your cutting machine, you spend the money on your software because it has so many more uses, and you do not need to spend the money on a kit. I mean, $60 odd for a kit just to do rhinestones? Gives me palpitations. These are self-adhesive rhinestones, purchased most probably from, I don't know, AliExpress or Amazon or whatever. I've had these for years, so I can't remember where they came from, but I do remember they were pretty cheap at the time. And I've got them in different sizes. Now, rhinestones are categorized not only by the color, but by the size, and they go in numbers. What I will do for you is link a file down below that gives you a guide for the cutting size of hole for the different size of rhinestones. And you can then, if you've got some rhinestones, you can work out which hole size you actually need to do. Right, the first thing that you'll find that they tell you need in a kit is the template material. Well, if you're a crafter, you've got card in your cupboard. You do not need template material. Here is a simple template that I made years ago. It is simply made from cardboard and it works perfectly well. I made one yesterday on my Brother Scan and Cut. This is 270 GSM cardboard. It is either Aldi or Lidl stock. I can't remember which it was. It's a thick card. And all I did was I cut out the pattern that I want, and I put some Zig 2-way glue around the pattern and just folded the card in half. You can, if you want to, use other card, and there is an advantage. I'll go into why in a moment, but there is an advantage to using something like glitter card or glitter paper even. It really doesn't make much difference, but something glittery is actually quite good for doing it. So the next thing you would have to do, and bearing in mind in the Brother kit they give you a piece of glossy cardboard in the box to do this on, no idea why, you would put this inside a container simply to hang on to your rhinestones because you don't want them going everywhere. Believe me, you'll find them in places you didn't expect regardless. And so you will take your packet of rhinestones, and I just got a small packet here, and I can't remember if this is the right size for this or not, but we'll find out. And all you do is you tip a whole load of them over your design. So the next thing they will tell you is that you need a special brush for it. Now, there's two ways around this. This looks very similar to what is provided. This was made by me from a piece of paintbrush material, and I just cut a piece off to size and put it in a handle. You could just as easily cut the same stuff and put it on the back of a fork. It makes very little difference. So what you do is you just go around like this, and magically you'll find, if you've got enough stones on it at least, you'll find your pattern becomes filled with rhinestones, and most of them, if your rhinestones have got the right size holes, or your card's got the right size holes I should say, most of them will end up correct side up, and you'll end up filling your pattern. If you haven't quite filled them the first time round, just scatter them over again and just repeat until it's all filled. A step which I'm not going to bother to do because I want to show you something else. So, assuming you've got some spare rhinestones, whoops, one escapee, spare rhinestones left over from your design, all you need to do is get a piece of paper, much like you would with glitter, and carefully tip them into a sharp crease, and then you can tip them back into your packet without losing any. So that is a simple way of doing that. If you do not have one of these or a paint pad you can cut up, never fear, because I've got some in hand I'm sure you've probably seen recently. But these brushes are excellent for doing the same thing. Okay, they're rounded, they're not flat, but it'll still do it. Unless you're going to be doing an awful lot of rhinestones, this is perfectly good. Let me demonstrate again, exactly like I did before. But look, you know, I'm not doing too badly. I've got a few holes at the moment, but it's getting there. May not be quite as good as having a flat brush. I suppose you could always trim this off if you wanted to ruin one, but oh, they're so soft and nice. But it's still doable, so you don't need to spend a fortune on a brush. That is how you would make your rhinestone template, or the materials you would make it from. Now, if you have the software, you do not need the 100 designs that is in the Brother Rhinestone pack, because you'll be able to make whatever designs you want very easily. You just select a shape, tell it whether you want it filled or whether you just want a line, and what size rhinestones you're using, and hey presto, it does it for you automatically. The Silhouette Studio version is, I'd say, slightly better because they've got a different method that you can choose to fill the area. So you can have it going in a circular direction, or you can have it in lines. The Shortcuts a lot version doesn't do that. It just fills it as it sees best. It just chooses what it wants to do. So the other thing you need to do is to transfer, and all you need is normal transfer tape. So press it over the top there and lift up, and there we go, all ready to transfer to whatever garment you want to transfer to. I'm just going to take these off and put them back in the packet. But that's how it's done. It's very easy. Just put a cloth over the top of that, iron on without steam. So the last bit is, the reason why I suggest you put some of this on the top of your design, or make it out of this in the first place, is because when it comes to transfer paper, it might possibly stick to the card. If you've got this stuff on top, it does not stick. It will stick to the rhinestones, but it will not stick to the glitter card. So if you've got scraps of glitter card hanging around from other projects, you can utilize those to do smaller designs, or you can just buy something else for it. I did somewhere have some velvet paper, and that would work fine, because obviously this won't stick to the velvet either. I just couldn't find it. I may have given it away because it had been in my stash for so long and I hadn't used it. So that's it. You don't need to spend 60 odd euros or 20 or 30 odd euros on your supplies. Unless you want to, of course, in which case feel free to use a link that I'll provide below so you can go buy some. If you want to do it manually, what you can do is you can make lines of shapes of the correct size. So for example, you can do a whole load of dots of the correct size, line them up. You can offset each alternate line if you want to, so they're not one on top of the other. And in Shortcut Slot, you can then actually do a subtraction by using the knockout function. And that will give you your design as well. You know, if you're going to be doing lots and lots and lots and lots of rhinestone designs, then to be honest, you don't want a kit anyway, you just want the software that's going to do it. And if you're not doing very many, then it's not worth buying the kit either. There we have it. I must be doing myself out of a fortune in Amazon commissions. Thanks for watching. Take care now. See you soon.